my hometown of Winchester, Massachusetts, in the middle school. I did a clinic on a basketball tactic called the pick and roll. Anybody who's been around basketball for many years will probably understand what that is. However, my audience of the day were 3rd and 4th grade boys. Within 5 minutes, I knew I was doing the wrong clinic because the boys were bored, they were talking to each other, and I finally figured out after 5 minutes that this is probably not the proper thing to be teaching 3rd and 4th grade kids. This was 1988. I had been in basketball for almost 20 years at that time, and I had probably done well over 500 clinics for children of all ages, and I had worked with college players and some pro players and some high school players. That got me thinking over 20 years ago that maybe I should spend some more time teaching kids or teaching people who work with kids, coaches, maybe better ways to coach basketball. And that was the beginning of a journey that now leads to this year, 2009, where I've now done hundreds of clinics for not only children who play, but even more importantly for the coaches who try to teach and coach the children who play basketball. That pick and roll, I thought in 1988, was part of a very broad word in basketball called fundamentals. In basketball, the first thing we've got to do is decide what the heck a fundamental is. And I have spent the last 20 years of my life trying to narrow and make simplistic my definition of what a basketball fundamental is. And I've certainly come to the determination 20 years ago that the pick and roll is not. What you're talking about with children learning to play basketball are the fundamentals. The fundamentals are really a fairly small subset of things we call dribbling and passing and shooting and maybe individual defense and maybe rebounding. It's about as simple as you can get, and a whole lot of footwork and pivoting, which we'll get into in a little while in this film. It is very necessary that all youth coaches for these age groups of 3rd and 5th and 6th and 8th grade understand that if you're going to work with kids, you're starting with the developmental process of trying to help the kids learn to play better basketball. If you don't start with the proper fundamentals, then you already will be behind the 8 ball like I was over 20 years ago with that pick and roll clinic.